That's fine with me.
Canada's on the eastern side of the state, so Ron,
Okay.
you'll have to run the meeting, or Sean, or one of you.
I'll start it. I'll call the meeting. I'll call the meeting to order.
Hold up.
What? We're waiting for someone?
We gotta go live.
Are we live? Okay, we're live now. I'll call this meeting of the Municipal Utility Board for Sturgis to order. The first item on the agenda is consider the consent calendar, which includes the agenda and the minute meetings from the 23rd of May.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda and the minutes.
I guess we'll vote. Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Approval of the claims. Any questions on the claims?
Not really.
Yeah, there's some bigger ones, but I guess we need to take maybe a tour of Pineland sometime.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, thank you. I'm hitting 1,000 this morning, Rick. You know, there's people that say 1,000%, and there is no 1,000%. There's only 100%. I guess
We'll go for that.
I would ask for a motion then, I guess, to approve the claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
I guess we'll vote on it. Aye.
Aye.
The ayes have it. Next item on the agenda is the City Finance Office report.
Good morning. Not a whole lot to report on. Of course, today is shut-off day. I do not know how many we have. We are continuing to call. Todd actually had a very good thought about this calling thing, and I think it's worth just going ahead and doing it. And then I do have another person now in my office, so that helps too, so they can get it done a lot quicker. So they are calling, but I'm not sure how many we turn off. I know last month I believe we turned off 6, I believe, so.
And you've always indicated before if you call that reduces the amount of shut-offs, so I'm
It
hitting
does.
1,000 this morning, Rick. You know, there's people that say 1,000%, and there is no 1,000%. There's only 100%.
Why is that?
I guess
We'll go for that.
I would
because
ask
there
for
is
a motion then, I guess, to approve the claims.
Wow, that was weird.
Okay, are there any customer concerns? Hearing none. Guess we'll go on to the water superintendent report.
All right. Well, first of all, you noticed we have another person here. This is Tanner Fisher, our newest water operator. He comes from Montana. And you've been here, what, 3 weeks?
Getting there, yeah.
Yep, right around 3 weeks. So this is 2/3 of our municipal utility board, Tanner. That's Sean and that's Ron.
Welcome, Tanner.
Thank you.
Okay. Beyond that, as you see in the bills, there's some miscellaneous parts from Core and Main, DSG, Northwest Pipe. We have been doing a fair amount of taps and different odds and ends that have showed up. So rather than carrying a surplus of many things as I tap, permit, I order what I need and then we use it up. I do have a little bit of inventory, but for emergency purposes, just if that crossed your mind in any of the bills, that's what that is. Inspections, we've been doing a fair amount of inspections as well. There is still construction going on. I elaborated a little bit or kind of led into well 6 last month, and we had some issues getting a well outfit here to pull it, a workover rig, whatever you want to call them. Finally got one here. It's been kind of interesting where we're at, but the pump and motor are currently pulled. We're pending today to get a new pump and motor installed. There's been some issues with that, but both the motor and the pump appear to have gone out at one time at well 6, unfortunately. We still kept the pump. I haven't had it in my possession yet at a shop where I can try to spin it, but when we tried to spin it on site, it seemed locked up. But we'll dig into that more. Maybe it's rebuildable to keep as a spare.
When do you think you'll have that back up and running?
This week
Okay.
is the
That's
intention.
one of your main ones this time of year, isn't it?
Yeah, I can rotate between 5 and 6. Right now, in the wait to get somebody there, I have fired 5 up. So you will see a Butte Electric bill out. That's our only well that runs off of Butte Electric. So that one will show up. But it will be online, so emergency use, we will have it. I shouldn't say will for certain, but that's the prognosis that I have currently. Locates, my word, 811 calls, you get them all night, all day. We've seemed to be very busy. Everybody wants to be doing something. So you see us wandering around with paint and you see blue paint everywhere. That's why
A lot of construction going on.
yeah, or simple little things. You still have to go mark a curb stop or a curb box. It's amazing to me how many, some days we get 15 just during the day, and then I get frustrated at night because they'll come in at 10 o'clock, midnight. I mean, people just realize, hey, I didn't call in a locate for the stump I'm going to pull in my backyard. It's like, man, but it is what it is.
Are people mostly abiding by the rules? I mean.
Very
because
much
they're-
so.
They're supposed to do a locate so many hours before they do the
Yes.
dig, so.
Yes, and that, so I shouldn't cuss it. It is frustrating when your phone goes off 24/7 for a locate, but at least they're calling and we're not damaging things. So it's a double-edged sword. Talking to Rick this morning, we're gonna try to start flushing some of our dead-end line hydrants. That's sounded really good to me to get some of that water turned over on the dead ends, and then we get after Raleigh, we'll start flushing the rest of the town, but the dead ends could use it right now, so. And we are patiently waiting for the final rules on the lead and copper ruling. They still haven't came out with everything we need. I'm still comfortable that we are ahead of the game on our side of it. When it comes to the consumer participation part, until they unveil what they're going to have us use, I can't get ahead of the game. We're just going to be like everyone else with the consumer. So we'll have about a year to do it. It's looking to me, because they haven't rolled it out yet. And last but not least, Faye had mentioned about the calling and the moral of the story is, I was in here and we were talking about the calling a little bit, and the question was posed to me: is it worth our effort to call these people? And I just I thought it most certainly is. If we exercise their curb valve every 3 months, it's not as fussy of a deal. It works, but every time you operate something underground, you run the risk of it breaking. Never mind, some of these haven't been operated in years. So when you calculate the hour spent in calling to try to get it so we don't shut them off versus one time we break one and have to fix it, the expense kind of evened out, and that's what Faye was referring to. So
That makes sense. That you don't want to have to turn that valve if you don't have to.
yes.
Yeah.
So I guess that's what I have for report this month. Any
Okay.
questions?
I don't have anything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Public Works Director, Rick.
Morning. So just to expound a little bit on some of what Todd had spoke about, the guys have been extremely busy. We have been taking care of some of our problem connections as well, and I'm sure you guys all saw the hole that was dug out here outside of City Hall. That was done in an effort to, we had a water service line in one of our problem ones that ran through one of the apartment buildings to another house, and so that was one of our shut-off lists or a frequent flyer. And when we had to shut them off, we shut off multiple tenants, multiple houses. So we were able to work with the property owners and get those individual connections made. So part of what we wanted to do was put in an isolation valve so that this line basically dead ends, and now we're able to isolate the city hall building from that. So again, a good thing. Similar scenario with the church that burnt down on Old Stone Road. Of course, we had to shut the water off for that building because they tore it down. There was a house hooked on, interconnected through that building. So we were able to work with that property owner, get an individual service line put in. We got some valving installed there where now we can operate the church in the future and the property owner individually like it should be done. So we're constantly looking at ways where we can fix these problem areas that we have as well too, and it takes a lot of coordination and a lot of effort, and a lot of times we probably go above and beyond what's required in order to get it done, but in the benefit, it benefits us in the long run. So the guys have been doing a really good job at that. Todd and I have also been working with Foth Engineering on our well number 8 and our storage tank. All of the environmental cultural resource surveys have been done on that project. We've got a pretty good preliminary plan and layout for the storage tank, which will be located up on the rubble site property. We've kind of got it laid out how it will work and how the hydrants will work up there and access and all of that stuff. We've done some soil analysis, some geotech on the well number 8, and we're pretty comfortable in its positioning, so we're moving forward with that. Over the next several months, they'll be working on putting the plans together, and our hopes are still we'll put well number 8 out to bid yet this fall, kind of see where we're at, where we land with bidding, how the climate looks, and then once we have a good grasp on the cost of well number 8, then we'll start looking and putting forward the storage tank project, and probably be looking at doing we need to do some work on our existing storage tanks with some altitude valves. So you'll be seeing some more of that in the future. We're still plugging ahead. We've anticipate probably having the final review of the Davenport Phase 3 done this week. They did have a bid opening last week, so that project's going to start kicking off again. That will be more inspections and taps and things of that nature for our guys. So shaping up to be kind of a busy summer as normal. Rally's right around the corner, is less than it's right at about 30 some days, I think. I don't keep the ticker on that, but I know it's 30 some days. So we'll be getting busy with those turn-ons as well. We do have one water line that we have to service line down on the 900 block of main that we need to make, and they'll have to tear into the road to do that. So we'll be working with that property owner and contractor to get that done as well. So yeah, it's just been kind of a busy summer so far. Pine Glen, we were talking about it a little bit earlier this morning. That is done. It's 100% done now. Turned out a really good project. We haven't had any issues with that. We were able to install new water, sewer, asphalt paving, and constructed a cul-de-sac down there. So I think that project turned out very, very well. And that's about it. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
What all is going up to Dolan Creek? Why did that road need to be?
So that's part of the project with the assisted living, and what they're doing there is, number one, they're widening the road a little bit on Dolan Creek to make the entrances into the assisted living center, and in addition to that, they're adding curb and gutter, sidewalk, storm drainage. There'll be an actual bike path is getting replaced on the south side, and we'll have some interconnectivity to some other areas. So it's just a project that was put in place as a part of that assisted living project. The city did a tax finance district on that, and part of the agreement with that was that some of these city improvements were done. The big one being the storm drainage, the bike path, and like I said, some curb and gutter and better access. And not only will it be Dolan Creek, but Ferguson and Hurley that come off of it both ways will get the same thing. We'll finish the curb and gutter, add sidewalk in some of that, and some of it is in anticipation of the next phase. For the assisted living, they're going to have some independent living units or townhouses or whatever you want to call them will be the next phase. This is anticipation of that and making sure we have the correct entry points and access and things like that.
Okay, thanks, Rick.
Thank you.
Is there a request for any public hearings? Obviously not. Any old business that we haven't
No.
talked about?
I don't think so.
Anyone have any ideas for new business?
We are working on the budget, and probably will bring this to you in July.
Okay. That brings us to other matters that may become before the board. Anyone have any matters that they need to bring to the board?
No.
And I assume we don't need an executive session. So that brings us to 13.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We're adjourned. Short and sweet.